Hello everyone, am I audible? Let me check my audio first. So welcome to madBlockchain group, the first free webinar coming up from YouTube live on creating your first smart contract on Ethereum blockchain. So I warmly welcome all the participants to this blockchain free webinar. So the main prerequisites are laptop with a browser. So that is only one prerequisite. So everything I will explain how to make it, how to install and all. There is only one prerequisite. You should have a laptop with internet connectivity. So when you have internet connectivity, we can dig into that. Okay. So before we get into the topic, let me introduce myself. I am Madhu Parvataneni. I am the director and strategist at madBlocks Technologies Private Limited. So I will be taking this webinar on creating your first smart contract. So how many of you are aware of creating smart contracts on Ethereum blockchain? You can comment in the live chat. So let me quickly jump into the topic, so without any delay. So if you have any queries through the webinar, you can comment in the live chat, or you can push a WhatsApp message in the WhatsApp group which is created for us. So I hope everyone is available in the WhatsApp group. So you can post your question or query in the WhatsApp group through the webinar. So I will be checking WhatsApp group here and there. You can also post there, or you can also post YouTube live. Okay. So we will be sending the e-certificates after 2 days after the session. So the participants, whoever registered, whoever participated in the YouTube live will be getting an e-certificate. So if you are not registered, you can register on this URL, so which is shared in the presentation slide. So if you are registered, well and good. So if you are not registered, please do let us know. And also you can win 50 coins in the MakeSkill platform. So make sure that you have an account in MakeSkill platform. So you can create an account and you can get 50 coins for participating in this webinar. So this is our first webinar from the madBlockchain group. So continuously every Saturday we wanted to have one webinar. So I'll go through the schedule also. So in the coming slides. So let us start. So this is my mail ID and mobile number, mad@madblocks.tech, and the mobile number is also listed here. So you can send me a WhatsApp message, or you can call me up also after 8 o'clock. And email ID is this. If you have any query in implementing this, if you get any doubt or if you get stuck here and there, you can also push me an email. So we are available on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter with an ID called Talk to madBlocks. So for more technical updates, so we will be posting a lot of videos in different technologies. So not only on blockchain, so we'll be doing videos on IoT and also on blockchain and also on AWS. So on different types of cutting edge technologies, we are doing a lot of webinars. So if you want to get quick updates, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel. So which is going live today, which is madBlocks Technologies. So here we go. So before we get into the topic, let me define what is the agenda that I wanted to discuss in this couple of hours. So I just wanted to introduce what is blockchain, and second, I wanted to create your first crypto wallet. So in order to do some transactions on blockchain network, we need a crypto wallet, something like the PhonePe wallet, right? So if you have a PhonePe wallet, you can make PhonePe transactions. In the similar way, if you want to make some transactions on the blockchain network, you need a wallet. So I'll be telling you how to create your first crypto wallet so that you can make blockchain transactions. And the third, I'll be talking about what is Ethereum test networks, because there will be different types of Ethereum test networks available. So I'll be talking about how to get some test ethers, because one ether is 25,000 rupees as of now. So that is why we will not use the we will not use the real ethers, but we will be having test ethers. By using this test ethers, we will be doing some transactions. Okay, so I will be explaining you how to get some test ethers so that you can test your applications on the test blockchain networks. So instead of implementing our project, instead of implementing our smart contract in the real blockchain network, so we will be implementing it in the test network. So if you want to implement this in the test network, there also you need a virtual currency, so which is a cryptocurrency called Ether. So as we are using Ethereum blockchain network, so in the Ethereum blockchain network, the cryptocurrency is Ether. So that is why we have to get some test Ether, that I am going to discuss how to have those private test ethers for testing our application. And also we need an IDE to write a program. So here also there is a programming language called Solidity. So we have to write a program. So we need an IDE, right? So I will be discussing about what is this Remix IDE, how to create a program, how to compile your program, how to deploy your program onto the blockchain network, how to make transactions. So I'll be showing you a step by step in detail through this webinar. So it will take around 2 hours to complete this webinar, so to talk about these topics. Okay, so let us deep dive. So who are we? So first let me tell you that so I'm creating a community called madBlocks group. So this community will be open for everyone. So if you are interested in the blockchain, you can join this community group. So through this community group, what we wanted to do is we wanted to conduct a lot of webinars and also technical events which are related to blockchain to share knowledge. So the main intention is to share knowledge. Okay, and so a series of events are lined up. So as I said, every Saturday we wanted to organize one blockchain free webinar. So I will also displaying what are the continuous 4 webinars that are coming up after this. So I'll be showing in the next slide, but as of now I can promise you that we will be organizing a lot of free webinars in the blockchain domain, so that we will be showing you how to use platforms, we will be showing you how to use tools, we will be showing you how to use frameworks on different operating systems. Okay, so if you want to join our community group, just say hello, I am the blockchainer on my WhatsApp number 7893015625. So the current strength of the community is 38 members, which includes faculties, research scholars, students and all. So we have a community group of around 38. So if you want to join the group, you can join immediately. Okay, so you can send this WhatsApp message on my mobile number, then I will be adding you to the community group. Okay, as of now the community is very small, but as days goes on, I was so I was committed to deliver webinars and to share knowledge on blockchain. So that is why I'm very pretty sure that in the next few weeks, so we will be having a lot of members in the community there. So when talking about different types of events, as I promised, because when I promised, then I will be with my commitment. Okay, so as I promised, so I wanted to do 4 webinars. So webinar 1 is on this day, which is creating your first smart contract on 19th September, and the second free webinar will be on 26th September as I promised. So it will be on tutorial, end-to-end tutorial on Solidity. So how to create, what are the syntaxes, what are the methods available there. So we'll be talking about in-depth tutorial on Solidity on 26th September, and the third free webinar will be on 3rd October. So in that webinar, I will be talking about how to create a decentralized application for blockchain network on 3rd October, and on 10th October I will be showing you how to create your mini blockchain application on Python programming language on a local system. So on the 10th October, and above all, we also wanted to do some complete end-to-end training, which is of 12 hours duration live workshop on blockchain. For the non-members, we are charging around 1000 rupees, but for community members, so the members who joins in our community, we are charging only 200 rupees. So that is a minimum cost to manage all this community works and all, right. So we are charging a small amount of which is a token amount. So for the participants to join in this workshop, which is 12 hours live workshop on blockchain. So we'll be talking about end-to-end blockchain applications on different frameworks in the 12 hours live workshop. So we are conducting in 2 different batches. So batch 1 is from 8th October to 10th October. So which is about 3 days. So morning 2 hours, 2.5 hours will be the session, and afternoon 2.5 hours will be the session. Like this, we'll be conducting it for 3 days. So in 3 days, I am pretty sure that you can start building your blockchain projects. Okay, if you are a student, then this is an amazing opportunity. If you are a newbie, or if you are a professional developer, if you want to learn blockchain, then obviously our YouTube channel will help you out. Okay, so these are the important quick updates which I wanted to update before I get into the webinar. So just done. Okay, let me jump into the topic. Okay, let us explore some of the few things which I wanted to share. Okay, so what is blockchain? So why people are talking about it? So that is what we have to understand before we get into the hands-on. Okay, so before we get into hands-on, so let us quickly talk about what is blockchain. So blockchain is nothing but chain of blocks. So if you ask me simply what is blockchain, the name itself says, right, the chain of blocks. So let us talk in depth into it. So blockchain is nothing but a distributed peer-to-peer network which maintains a digital ledger of complete transactions. So which indirectly means that there is no third party who is maintaining all the records here. For example, say, so if you have a bank account, who is maintaining all your details? The bank people are maintaining all your details, right? So here you don't have any centralized a third party here, so centralized server. So you will have a distributed peer-to-peer network where all the peers will be having all your details. Okay, so the complete transaction details will be available with every peer in the peer-to-peer network of blockchain. But they can see, okay, they can see, but they cannot, they cannot tamper or they cannot hack the data, because in blockchain every block data is completely encrypted and they are connected with each other. So since they are connected with each other, it is very difficult. Is my voice audible? Hello, is my voice audible? Can you check my volume? Hello. Okay. So as we are discussing about blockchain here, so blockchain is nothing but a distributed network where you will have peer-to-peer network which maintains all the details of all the transactions. So which is nothing but your transactions are open. Okay, so it's open to everyone, but they cannot tamper your data. Though the data is available with them, they cannot do that, because your blocks are connected in terms of chain mechanism. So that why if they want to tamper your data, they have to tamper all the data. Okay, so all the data which is related to all the blocks. So that is why they cannot do that. Due to its transparency and immutability. So immutability is also one important parameter in the blockchain, because the data which is stored in that block cannot be updated. Okay, so that is why the immutability is a very important term which is needed today, right? So if you look at the various kinds of centralized server, they can change your data, they can update your data, so anything can happen there. But here in the blockchain network, since it is immutable in nature, since it is transparent in nature, so obviously, so now the industry 4.0 is stepping towards blockchain. So they wanted to implement blockchain in every domain, so where they can have the distributed peer-to-peer networks, and they wanted to store all the transactions public. So generally there will be different types of blockchains here, so we'll be talking about it a bit later. But as of now, what is blockchain? Blockchain is nothing but chain of blocks which are connected to each other in terms of a chain mechanism, and they are open to everyone, so they cannot tamper the data because they are immutable. So why it is immutable? So why it is transparent? That we'll see in the coming slides. Okay, so as of now, so as a newbie, as a beginner, let's understand that blockchain is nothing but chain of blocks connected, and you cannot update them. Okay, because all the blocks are completely encrypted and they are connected in terms of chain. Okay, so as of now, let's define that in such a way, right? So let's jump into the next slide. So in blockchain, so in the 2009 or in 2009. So there was a term called Bitcoin, which is first announced in 2009 by anonymous programmer. So this Bitcoin is nothing but, what is Bitcoin? So Bitcoin is nothing but a digital cryptocurrency, so which is distributed electronically. There is no Bitcoin printed. Okay, so as we have the 100 rupees and 500 rupees notes, right? So they are printed, so they are not digital currency, right? But when you look at the Bitcoin is completely a digital currency, and it is distributed electronically, so there is no paper printed for it, and it is distributed on a peer-to-peer network. So everyone has all the details of their transactions. Okay, so which is open to everyone, which is public to everyone. Everyone can see how many Bitcoins the person is having out there, but they cannot tamper the data. Okay, so it is distributed on a peer-to-peer network. So there is no central party like bank in between the transactions. Okay, so everything is open and everything is transparent there. So Bitcoin is the first cryptocurrency which used blockchain technology. So after launching Bitcoin, people understood the importance and the potential of blockchain technology. So till then, blockchain is available. Blockchain is not new technology. Blockchain is available because we in 1980s and 1990s, the computer scientists have used this term, the distributed computing. And that is not new. That is not new, right? So distributed computing is a old technology but after Bitcoin got popular and people understood the potential of blockchain technology there. Okay, so Bitcoin is the first currency which used blockchain technology in maintaining all these transactions. Okay, so in blockchain, what you have a peer-to-peer network, right? So in the similar way, in Bitcoin also you'll have a peer-to-peer network where every peer will have all the transaction details of their members who joins in the distributed network. And it is a public, as I said. So Bitcoin is a public blockchain follows public blockchain framework where everything is open to everyone. Okay, you can make transactions there. But in the olden days, what happened is, so people, if you ask what is blockchain, people say it is Bitcoin. Okay, so generally there was a confusion in understanding blockchain and Bitcoin. So, but Bitcoin is a cryptocurrency which is created by using blockchain technology. Whereas I should say that, blockchain is different, Bitcoin is different. Bitcoin is nothing but a cryptocurrency which is created by using blockchain technology. Okay, as we go on in the presentation, we will be understanding what is blockchain technology. But as of now, let's say that blockchain is nothing but a distributed peer-to-peer network where all the blocks are connected in a chain. Okay, so this is a cryptocurrency. Okay, this is like a cryptocurrency which is a virtual currency. This is a digital currency which is distributed in electronic world, which is digital. So there is no printed part. Okay, so many countries have banned this, but there are some millions of transactions which are happening on Bitcoin, because one Bitcoin is now today it is almost 7.5 lakh. So one Bitcoin is 7.5 lakh, which is almost very huge, right? So when you compare with the normal printed notes and all. Okay. So this follows a blockchain framework. Okay, then what is Ethereum? So Bitcoin and Ethereum. So these two are the popular cryptocurrencies in blockchain technology. Okay, what is Ethereum? So after seeing the potential of blockchain technology in Bitcoin framework, okay, in Bitcoin framework, so the technology which they have used is blockchain, right? So after seeing that the potentiality of the blockchain, then the group of companies have collaborated together and understood that yes, there is a need of building applications on blockchain, not for financial domain. So far in Bitcoin, if you see, everything is related to finance, right? Everything is related to money. So if they wanted to make transaction, if they wanted to make money transaction, they started using Bitcoin. But here in Ethereum is the second largest cryptocurrency platform by market capitalization behind Bitcoin. So as I said, so it is also a decentralized open source blockchain. Okay, but it is not limited to finance domain. Okay, so it is applicable to every domain. So you can do a blockchain in agriculture, or you can do blockchain in smart cities, or you can do blockchain in IoT, or you can integrate blockchain with drones. So you can implement blockchain in every technology because of Ethereum. Okay, because Ethereum has a feature called smart contract. So today we'll be talking about it in the next coming slides. So since it has a smart contract functionality, so Ethereum is now used in various platforms. Okay, so Ethereum is also public blockchain. So when I say public blockchain, it means that everything is open. Okay, it is open to everyone. You can view the data, but you cannot edit the data because it is immutable. So Ethereum is also is developed on blockchain technology, and it is public to everyone, but it is not related to cryptocurrency. It is not related to finance domain. Okay, so if someone wants to develop some blockchain applications, which is, say, if you want to develop a blockchain for agriculture, then you have to use the concepts of Ethereum blockchain. Okay, so we'll dig it later, but as of now, as a beginner, I'm just telling you all this by taking beginner as a perspective. Okay, so as of now, you can say that by Ethereum you can develop blockchain applications related to any domain. But when you look at Bitcoin, it is particularly related to finance. Okay, so you can make only something like PhonePe. What is PhonePe? PhonePe is nothing but, it is used to make PhonePe transactions, right? So it is completely related to finance domain. Okay, so when you come to Ethereum, in Ethereum you can start storing data into the blockchain, not in terms of money transactions, in terms of legal documents. For example, say if I'm owning a land, okay, if I want to protect the document, I'll be storing it in the Ethereum blockchain. So in the Ethereum blockchain, what happens? As my legal land document is stored in the Ethereum blockchain, no one can tamper it. If I'm having it on paper, sometimes people can tamper it, right? So they can change the data. But if once it is uploaded to the Ethereum blockchain, no one can tamper the data. So in the similar way, so lot of government agencies wants to put their data in the blockchain so that no one cannot tamper the data. Okay. While uploading the data to the blockchain network, there will be some people who adds this. Okay. So there will be some incentives also. So here in Ethereum blockchain, if you want to say, if I have a legal document, I have a land legal document, I wanted to upload this legal document onto the blockchain network. So I will send a request. I will send a transaction request. What is this transaction holding? Transaction holding my land legal document. It is not holding money. Okay, it is holding a land legal document. So if I want to store this land legal document, I cannot use Bitcoin, because in Bitcoin only virtual money can be transferred there. The virtual money can be transacted there in the Bitcoin technology. But when you look at Ethereum blockchain, I can store this legal document in the blockchain network. Okay, say I'm having a transaction. Say transaction is nothing but my legal document. So I wanted to store this legal document in the blockchain network. I will send a transaction request. So when I send a transaction request, what happens is that transaction request will be sent to all the peers available in the peer-to-peer network. Okay, so I will send a request. That request will be passed to everyone in the peer-to-peer network. So what people do is, people will study that transaction, will validate the transaction. Okay, say if you have 10 members in the peer-to-peer network, if 6 members say this information is valid, if the 6 members say this transaction is valid, then immediately what people do is, all 10 members will come to an agreement saying that yes, this information is valid. We have to update this into the block. They will update that into the block, and they will append that block to the blockchain. Okay. The people who did this, the people who are going to do this, are called as miners. So they mine the block. That is why they are called as miners. So they will be adding the transaction to the block, and that block they will be adding to the blockchain. So in order to do this, they need lot of computing power. They need lot of infrastructure. So that is why what people do is, people will give some incentives. Okay, people will give some incentives to the people who are doing it, who are mining it. So miners will get some incentives through cryptocurrencies. Okay, they don't get 10 rupees or 20 rupees like that. They will be getting money through cryptocurrencies. So every blockchain network should have a cryptocurrency. So what is this cryptocurrency? Cryptocurrency is a virtual currency where people can make money transactions. Okay, they can make money transactions for doing some work. So what is that work? That work is nothing but validating the transaction. That work is nothing but adding the transaction to the block. So that block will be added to all the peer networks, right? Say I'm a peer, okay, in the peer-to-peer network, and you are also a peer to the peer in the peer-to-peer network, okay. So one transaction is broadcasted to us. Then what I will do? I will validate the transaction. You will also validate the transaction at your end. I will also validate the transaction at my end. So after validating the transaction, what I'll do, I'll add that to block. Okay, so when I add that to the block, so everyone will have a open agreement. Okay, so that is called consensus. That is nothing but, if 51% people says that this transaction is fine, if the 51% people says that yes, there is no malicious data here, we can add this block into the blockchain. So they'll come to an agreement saying that yes, we can add it. So there is no problem with this transaction. Then immediately what happens is they will be putting the transaction, encrypting the transaction into the block. They'll be putting that into the block, and that block will be added to the blockchain. So okay, I'll be adding that block into the blockchain and on my network, and you will be also adding that block on your blockchain network. So on your place also that block will be added, on my place also that block will be added. So every peer in the P2P network, they will be adding that block onto the blockchain network. So incentives will be given by the person who is making the transaction request. Okay, so incentives will be, so if you want to share incentives, okay, so incentives are to be shared in the blockchain network through the cryptocurrencies. So what are cryptocurrencies? Cryptocurrencies are nothing but virtual currencies. Okay, they are not printed notes. Okay, there are some virtual currencies. So here in every blockchain network will have its own virtual currency. So Ethereum will use Ether as a virtual currency. So Bitcoin, so their Bitcoins will have the virtual currency there. So in every blockchain network, you will have those kind of virtual currencies. So in terms of virtual currencies, so the transaction, the incentives will be given to the miners. The miner is nothing but a person who is doing all these activities. Okay, so who is maintaining entire peer. So if you want to maintain a peer, you need lot of computing. Okay, you need big machines. Okay, big CPUs and GPUs. So you need lot of computing power to do all this. So that is why. So they have to get some incentives in order to maintain that network. So if you give $1 or $2, so that is not sufficient for the miner to handle those kind of infrastructure. That is why people will be, sharing incentives through cryptocurrencies, because cryptocurrency cost will be very high, right? So when it is high, then obviously it will be sufficient for miners to handle those kind of computers and all. So that is why. So the cryptocurrency will comes into the place. Okay. So in this webinar, I will be showing you how to use that cryptocurrency. Okay, and also I will show you how to get that cryptocurrency for test. Okay, for test purposes. So I'll also show you how to purchase the original cryptocurrency also. But as of now, as the webinar is concerned to open, which is like we'll be learning something, right? So I'll use test cryptocurrencies for deploying the test applications. Okay. So this is what Ethereum is. So when you compare Bitcoin and Ethereum, so Bitcoin, where to use Bitcoin? Bitcoin is used in the financial domain. So where to use Ethereum? Ethereum can be used in the non-financial domain. Okay, it can be on any data, right? So you can store IoT data, or you can store legal documents, or you can store, when you jump into the security part, say if you want to store police FIRs, so generally FIRs will be corrupted, right? So if you put police FIR in the blockchain, then no one can able to tamper it, right? So that's how the blockchains are entering into every individual part. Okay, so this is Ethereum. So after looking at the Ethereum, then the industries have understood the potential of the blockchain network there. So after seeing Bitcoin, people, the companies, the people, the open source blockchainers started creating a non-financial blockchain network, which is Ethereum. But after seeing Ethereum, then people understood that yes, there is a lot of scope is available in blockchain, and they started talking about what kind of blockchain should be created. For example, say if every information is open, say if all the information is open, say I'm a company who makes a transaction. Okay, who makes a transaction. So say you're my competitor. So here in blockchain, what happens is every information is open to view, right? So it's open to public. So when it is in the public domain, so everyone can view the data, but they cannot tamper the data. So if the if deals are happened with the clients, if it is open to everyone, then the competitor can able to see what is the deal signed, right? So then obviously there will be some problems comes up, right? So if everything is open, so then people thought that yes, there should be some private blockchain where only ourselves has to view. Okay, so then the types of blockchains comes into place. There are three types of blockchains. One is public blockchain, as we discussed, which is open to everyone. You can view all the data on the entire blockchain, which is open to everyone. So there is a lot of transparency there. So when it is open to everyone, obviously there's a lot of transparency, right? Anyone can access the data. And obviously this data is distributed. Say if my system is corrupted, but you have this data on the other peer, right? So if one peer is corrupted, there are many number of peers here. So that data, but in centralized place, when you look at the centralized server, in the centralized server, if the server is got corrupted, then you will be losing your data, right? And here in the distributed network, if my system is corrupted, but you have the other systems also, right, which are in the peer. So the other peer will be maintaining the data, right? So we can easily grab that data. Okay. So in the public blockchain, if you see, ledgers are visible to everyone on the internet. So it allows only anyone to verify and add a block of transactions to the blockchain. Public networks have incentives for people to join and free for use. Anyone can use a public blockchain network. So as what we have discussed. But private blockchain. So private blockchain is nothing but a blockchain which is implemented within a single organization. So here it is not public to everyone. So only specific people of the organization can verify. So here in public blockchain, what people are doing, peer, what miner, who is miner? Miner is a public, right? So anyone can be a miner. So anyone can be a miner if he has the infrastructure. So the miner will be joining the peer-to-peer network if he has the infrastructure. Okay. But in private blockchain, only specific people of the organization will be acting as miners. So who is miner? Miner is nothing but who validates our transaction request. Who is miner? A miner is nothing but a person who is able to convert this transaction into the block. A miner is nothing but a person who adds this block to the blockchain. Okay. So here in the private blockchain, you will be having only specific people of the organization as miners. So everyone on the internet is generally allowed to view, but you will be understanding who is adding this block into the blockchain, okay, which is private blockchain. So here miners are private, whereas blockchain is public, okay, where anyone can view or you can put some limited access also. Okay, the consortium blockchain. So in the consortium blockchain, only group of organization collaborate together. So something like Hyperledger. So I'll be talking about it a bit later, but as of now, so which is nothing but, a group of organizations collaborate together, will create a common blockchain where ledger. So ledger is nothing but the entire blockchain network. So ledger is nothing but a group of, the number of transactions happened. So what are the transactions, which are nothing but the details related to the blockchain network. So this ledger is restricted to, specific people, okay. So which is nothing but some groups. So say from one organization, one group will be handling this ledger. In the second organization, say second group will be handling this ledger. So it means that, the accessibility of blockchain is limited. So only these people can add and these people can view. Okay. So which is like, consortium blockchain is nothing but group of organizations come together. So in the private blockchain, you'll have only one organization who is doing all this task. But in the consortium blockchain, you'll be having group of people, because if you want to create a blockchain network, you need a lot of investment, right? So sometimes when companies get collaborated together, investment goes down, right, on every company. So, and you will be having, the technology support and the infrastructure support. So that is why people create the consortium blockchains also. Okay. So these are the three different types of blockchains which we have to understand. And the next is, what is hash? So this is what we have to understand. So hash is very, very, very important in blockchain infrastructure. So what is hashing? So hashing is not new process. It's a quite old process. What is hashing? Hashing is a process of converting a data or piece of information. So that data can be the number of bitcoins which are transacted to the second user. Say I want to transact, say 3 bitcoins to my friend. Okay. So that is the transaction there, because there is no original currency, right? Everything is a electronic data. Say I want to transfer 3 bitcoins to my friend. Okay, that is called transaction. That is called data. So that piece of information will be converted into a cryptographic value. Okay, which is encrypted value. So you will be having different number of letters and digits. Okay, from the cryptographic value, we can't convert back to the text. For example, say, so I have taken 2 examples here, text inputs. So one text input is madBlocks is rocking. So that is one text input. So say I have given a transaction called madBlocks is rocking, instead of sending 3 bitcoins. Okay, forget about that. So let's talk about this. madBlocks is rocking. That is a text input. So that text input, when I send to hashing, what hashing will do is, that information will be converted into a cryptographic value. So that is a cryptographic value for madBlocks is rocking, where M is capital. So madBlocks spelling you look at, and space IS is space rocking. Okay, so that is a cryptographic value generated by hash algorithm. Okay, so you will be having different types of numbers. You can say different types of numbers and characters come together, right? So in the second case, if you see, so what is the text input there? madBlocks is rocking, but there is a full stop at the end. But in the first text input, there is no full stop there. So what it means that I have tampered the data. So I have tampered the data. I have changed the data. Say I have given 5 bitcoins to my friend, but my friend what he did is instead of 5 bitcoins, he made the transaction like 3 bitcoins. So he said only 3 bitcoins are transferred from your account. Okay. So, but according to me, I have transacted 5 bitcoins, but my friend is saying that he has received only 3 bitcoins. Okay. Then it means the data is tampered, right? If the data is tampered, see, there is a change in the hash. Then a new hash is generated. So that is why if you change any data in the transaction, so immediately hash will be changed. Okay. You cannot convert reback. Okay. You cannot convert the hash to text input. Ulta conversion is not there. You can generate from text input to hash. If you generate ulta, I will show it later in the hands-on. But when you convert ulta, you won't get the data, right? Okay. So if you modify the data, so what I wanted to say is, if you want to modify the data, immediately hash will be modified. If the hash is modified, it means that some tampered is happened. If the hash is not modified, say it is constant throughout the network, say after 1 year also the hash is same, after 10 years also the hash is same, it means that data is not tampered. So it indirectly means that by using hashing, we can easily identify whether data is tampered or not. Okay, so as of now, data is tampered because hash is changed. If hash is not updated, it means the data is not tampered. So this is how hash plays a key role in understanding whether data is tampered or not. Okay, so if you change input, hash is going to be changed. Okay, if you have any questions, you can ask me in the YouTube live chat. But as of now, let me tell some important terminologies so that it will help us in creating hands-on. Okay, so what is transaction? So as I said, transaction need not be finance transaction, right? Say previously what I said, madBlocks is rocking, that is a transaction. It doesn't involve any finance, right? So there is no concept of money there. So what we are doing there, we are just sending a message called madBlocks is rocking. So which is nothing but a text input is taken, isn't it? So that is what transaction is. So transaction is nothing but a piece of information. Okay, so here I mention it as generally the processing of request alias purchase or sell which takes place in the digital world is called as transaction. In the financial domain, the transactions will be holding some details like credit card or debit card that taken place between the entities. But as per me, okay, as per me, any kind of request that you make in the blockchain infrastructure is a transaction. Need not be only a money transaction, but can be anything. Okay, it can be any kind of data, not only related to money. So it can be anything. Okay, this is called transaction. But generally, in a normal scenario, if you say transaction, people think about money, right? But here, storing my legal land document is also a transaction. Okay, so here transaction need not be a money transaction. It's a transaction is nothing but a request coming from user to store his data on the blockchain network so that no one can tamper it. Okay, so that is called transaction. Hope you are aware of it. Hope you are understanding this. Okay. What is block? What is block in the blockchain? Okay, what will happen there? So let's understand that. A block, so whenever a transaction request is added to unconfirmed transaction list. So in the blockchain, what peers will do is, peers will try to read the unconfirmed transaction list. So what is it, unconfirmed transaction list? Unconfirmed transaction list is nothing but a request coming from user, a new request coming from user. So when a new request coming from user in the peer-to-peer network, then what happens is that unconfirmed transaction list will be broadcasted to everyone. Say if there are 1 million of peers in the peer-to-peer network, so to 1 million peers, so all this information will be broadcasted. Okay, all this information will be broadcasted. Then all the peers will validate the block. based on some consensus algorithm that we will discuss later. So they are going to add the block to the blockchain network, as I said earlier. So what they will validate the transaction. If 51% people says that yes, this transaction is valid, we can add it, then obviously the remaining peers will also should add this block to the blockchain network. Okay, so here what is block? A block would be comprised of timestamp, so when it is to be added, transaction, which is nothing but data, which is encrypted. Sometimes your transaction data will be raw data, sometimes your transaction data will be encrypted data. So it all matters, okay. So you will have a transaction which has to be stored in the block, and also current hash. So when you have a transaction, when you have the data, then you can generate a hash code, okay. So every hash code will be generated. So every hash code will be generated on the block. So you will have a previous hash code also. So what is a previous block hash? So as I said, blockchain. So there is a connectivity between the blocks. So what is that connectivity? The current block will be storing the data, will be storing the identity. What is hash here? Hash is nothing but an identity of the block. Okay, for people we will be having fingerprints, right? We will be having a fingerprint. So fingerprint is an identity of a user, right? So in the similar way, in the blockchain technology, in the blockchain infrastructure, an identity of the block is given by hash. So because no block will have same hash. Okay, so anyways, we will have hash collision, that is fine. If two blocks have same hash, then what we have to do, that we'll discuss later. But as of now, let's assume that hash is a unique identity of the block. Okay, all the blocks in the chain will be connected through this hash. So every block will have its own hash, and also it will store the previous block hash. Thereby they are connected like a linked list. So in linked list, you know, right? So if you're from the computer science background, you can easily understand what is linked list. So in the linked list, you'll see this kind of link, right? So the current node will store the previous node address, right? So that is what linked list is. Here also in the similar way, every block will store its previous block address. So what is address here? Hash. So that is why every block will have current hash, and also every block will have previous hash. And also there is a number called number at once, nonce. So we'll discuss this nonce a bit later, but every block will have this nonce. Okay, what is this nonce? So we'll discuss it later. Okay, so all this data will be will be inserted into the block, and that block will be appended to the chain. So this is what block will be holding. So block will be holding what? Timestamp. So at what time this is created? Transaction details. What is the data? It can be a document or it can be a piece of data. So it's all matter based on the application context. And what is the current hash? So when you have data, then obviously hash will be generated. Okay, and the previous hash of the previous block. So and the number at once. So nonce. So all this will be appended to the block, and that block will be appended to the chain. So how blocks are connected? This is what we're discussing, right? How blocks are connected in the blockchain. So when you look at this chain, so it is very simple to understand. So every blockchain will have the first block, okay? So because first block will not have the previous block, right? So the first block in the blockchain is called Genesis block. Okay, so it is called as Genesis block. Say, assume that there are 3 blocks here, 1, 2, 3. 3 blocks in the blockchain infrastructure, say. So let's say we have only 3 blocks to understand. So first block doesn't have any previous block, right? So it cannot connect with the previous block because that is the first block. So the first block is called Genesis block. So Genesis block, so so there is a text written there. So Genesis block. Okay, so this Genesis block, so every block will have its own hash, right? So based on the information available in the block, we can generate hash. So every block will have its own hash, okay? So say 1Z8F is a hash, but hash generally it will be of 256 byte, okay? So 256 byte. So as of now, let's say for us to understand, so say there are 4 letters, okay? 1Z8F is a hash of the Genesis block, okay? And what is a previous hash? There is no previous hash here because that is the first block. So that is why you can able to see only zeros. The previous hash is 0. So if the previous hash is 0, then it indirectly means that is nothing but Genesis block. That is nothing but block 1 in the blockchain. Okay. So after that there is a second block. So what is the second block? second block is also holding its own hash. So what is hash? Hash will be generated based on the data. We cannot say only this is hash, okay? So it is based on the data. So previous slide I have shown you, right? madBlocks is rocking, so you'll get one hash code. Okay, here also every block based on the information, it generates one hash. But in the previous hash, we have to link with the previous block hash. So you can able to see. So what is the previous block hash for 2, which is nothing but 1Z8F, right? So that is being represented in the previous hash of the current block. So thereby you can form a chain between block 1 and block 2. How the chain is created? By storing the previous block hash. Okay, then from this block you can traverse to previous block. From this block you can traverse to previous block and so on. But here, as it is Genesis block, there is no previous block. Okay, so if you want to access the blockchain, what you have to do? Block by block you have to traverse. Okay, so say you have 3 blocks. Okay, say you have 3 blocks in the blockchain. Say I wanted to traverse through the blockchain. Then what I have to do? I have to access the current hash, which is the last block hash. And in that last block hash, you will have previous hash. Then I have to identify 6BQ1. Okay, then 6BQ1 block is here. So it will jump to this. And 6BQ1 is its own hash, right? And that block is having a previous hash called 1Z8F. Then it will be going to block 1. So like this, they are connected with each other. Okay, for example, say, so as of now, you'll have millions of blocks in the blockchain network. Okay, so we cannot say only 3 blocks. So you will have millions of blocks available in the blockchain network. Say, if I wanted to tamper block 2, say if I wanted to tamper, say I have changed the data in block 2, then what happens is when the data is changed, hash will be changed. When the hash is changed, then what will happen? The block 2 will be disconnected from block 3 because block 3 is having 6BQ1. But when I update block 2 data, then hash will be changed. Okay, hash will be changed. Then what will happen? This chain will be disconnected. If this chain is disconnected, then that is a malicious blockchain. Okay, so when the chain is disconnected, we cannot add any block to that. So that is why what people do is before adding a block, what they do is they will try to validate the entire chain. Okay, they will try to validate the entire chain. After once they feel that yes, this chain is okay, proper, there is no malicious blocks in the blockchain network, then obviously they will be adding that block to the blockchain. So here, if you update the data, then what will happen? This chain will be disconnected. When this chain is disconnected, then obviously you cannot append the block to the blockchain network. So say if you want to modify block 2, say block 2 was modified. If you want to modify block 3, then you can modify block 3, then block 4, block 5, block 6, so on. 1 million blocks are there. So if you want to do this kind of edits, if you want to update all this, you need lot of infrastructure, millions of dollars you need in order to update all this. Okay, so people will not do that. Okay, and also the same blockchain ledger will be available in distributed peers, right? So so the same network will be available in the different places at different persons, right? They are called as peers in the network. So the peers will not accept it. Okay, so there is a 51% policy says that I cannot accept your chain because you have updated your data. Okay, say I have updated all my blocks data in the blockchain network, then I have to broadcast this data to everyone saying that yes, my blockchain is updated, and all the peers will not accept it, right? Though say some peers have accepted due to various reasons, but all the peers, all 51% peers, if are not accepted the change, then obviously so they cannot commit this change in the blockchain network. So that there is a problem of 51%. If 51% people are corrupted, say if the 51% peers are corrupted, then that is a demerit of blockchain network. But generally it will not happen. Okay. So this is all the important keywords that I wanted to share, as it is a first free webinar. But as the webinars goes on, so as the number of webinars goes on, we'll be talking about various terminologies required here and there. But as of now, this information is sufficient because we have only 2 hours. Now 1 hour is already gone with the little information. So let's jump into the hands-on without any time delay. Okay. Because when you do, then only you'll be understanding, right? So let's do. So let's jump into the second part, which is creating your crypto wallet. So let us understand how to create your first crypto wallet. So do you have this crypto wallet? So anyone has your crypto wallet in your mobile apps, in mobile phone? Generally we used to maintain Phone Pay and Google Pay, right? So they comes with the mobile apps, and you can download it from Play Store and all. So does anyone maintain this cryptocurrencies and all? So if you're a newbie or if you're a beginner in blockchain, generally they don't have this crypto wallets. So let us understand how to create a crypto wallet. Okay, let's jump into that. Crypto wallet. Why we need a crypto wallet? So that is what we have to understand. So crypto wallet is needed if you wanted to make a transaction. Okay, if you wanted to request peer to add this information to the blockchain network, then you should have a crypto wallet. Without having a crypto wallet, we cannot ask peer to make a transaction. Okay, if you want to send a transaction, say if you want to store your legal document in the blockchain network, then you should have a crypto wallet. Through the crypto wallet, because every crypto wallet will have a public key and private key, so you will have some signature. So because we have to understand who has initiated the transaction, right? Who has initiated the transaction, we should understand that, right? Say then every entity who is making this transaction will have a signature, that is called digital signature. That we'll talk about it later in the next upcoming webinars. But as of now, let's understand that every person who wants to make a transaction request into the blockchain network should have a crypto wallet, because through crypto wallet we will be having our identity, that is like a ID. So for example, say if you want to make a PhonePe transaction, you should have an account in the bank, right? Without having account in the bank, you cannot have a PhonePe transaction there. So this is also something like that. Okay, if you want to make a transaction, the transaction can be money transaction, the transaction can be a data which is to be appended to the blockchain, so that can be anything, but you should have a crypto wallet. Okay, so wallet, so you know this wallet is nothing but an application which is related to cryptocurrencies here. That is why it is called as crypto wallet. So let's do that. So generally in our mobile phones or in laptops or systems, we will be having a browsers, right? So we have browsers like Google Chrome or Mozilla Firefox. Okay, you can convert your Mozilla Firefox into a crypto wallet. You can convert your Google Chrome into a crypto wallet. So what is this crypto wallet? Crypto wallet, by using this crypto wallet, you can able to make a transaction. That is what I'm telling you, right? So if you want to convert your Google Chrome into a crypto wallet, or if you want to convert your Mozilla Firefox into a crypto wallet, or if you want to convert a laptop into a crypto wallet, okay, since we need an extension here which is coming up, which is open source and live. Okay, you can find it. You can search about this in Google also, you'll get a lot of information. But as of now, let me brief this. What is MetaMask? So MetaMask is nothing but a gateway, or you can say crypto wallet, to build blockchain applications. So as I said, if you want to use a blockchain application, you should have a crypto wallet. By using crypto wallet only, you have to make transaction. Okay, that I will show it later in the third part or fourth part. But as of now, let's understand a crypto wallet is needed. So MetaMask is nothing but a crypto wallet which is a gateway to blockchain applications. MetaMask provides the simplest, most secure way to connect to blockchain based applications. And MetaMask generates passwords and also keys. As I said, digital signature is very important. So what is digital signature? Digital signature is nothing but a key which is generated by MetaMask. Okay, your MetaMask will be generating a key which is public and private key. So it will generate both public and private key. So you have to put those public key, it is open to everyone. Private key, you have to put it in the safe place. Okay, but when you have private key, so they can, the tampering can happen. Okay, so they can able to crack all this. Okay, so that is why MetaMask generates passwords and keys on your device. So only you have access to your accounts and data. So MetaMask provides an essential utility for blockchain newcomers like us, token traders, crypto gamers and developers. So this is like, a very good tool in order to create a crypto wallet. So let us do that. Okay. So you can use, so there are two steps here. You can use either Google Chrome or Mozilla Firefox. So generally these are the popular browsers, right? So I have checked in both Firefox and Google Chrome. So this MetaMask is working good. So let us do this. Okay. So I am using Google Chrome now for demonstration. So you can use Google Chrome or you can use Mozilla Firefox. So let's open browser and let's have this as an extension. So this is MetaMask is available as an extension in all the browsers. Okay. So let us open the browser and let's search for this extension. So I'm just demonstrating on Google Chrome. Okay, let me jump into that. So let me magnify the screen. Okay, so I am having Google Chrome. So am I audible? I am having Google Chrome here. Let me search for extension. Okay, so if you want to install any extension, you have to go to settings of the browser, right? So let me jump into the settings. So settings will be on the right top side. So let me click on this vertical ellipsis. So you will have settings. So you need to click on settings. Now the settings of the browser will open, right? So I am talking about Google Chrome. So in any browser you will have settings of the browser. In the settings you will be having the option to add the extensions. Okay, so let me jump into that. So extensions, I guess, yes, it is here. So on the left side you will have a browser, you will have a dashboard menu, right? So here you will have extensions. What you have to do is you have to click on this. Okay, so you have to click on the extensions. So when I click on the extensions, then it will be opening to the new page here. You can able to see. Okay, so it is extension page is open, but we have to install an extension, right? So we have to install an extension. So that is why what we have to do is we have to click on this three horizontal lines, which is menu. Okay, then what we have to do is we have to click on Open Chrome Web Store. So when you click on Open Chrome Web Store, so there you will have some options to install the crypto wallet. Okay, so the MetaMask. So let me click on Open Chrome Web Store. So when I click on it, so it will be redirected to the Chrome Web Store. Okay, so through this Chrome Web Store we have to install MetaMask. Okay, so let me search for that. Okay, so you will have different types of extensions here. So let me search for that. So MetaMask. Okay, let me search for that. Yes, you can able to see here extension MetaMask offered by https://metamask.io. This is the official website of MetaMask. You can go through that when you have time, but as of now let me skip that topic. Okay, because let me confine to this hands-on. So MetaMask. So MetaMask is nothing but an Ethereum wallet in your browser, so which is related to Ethereum blockchain. Okay, so now I am using Ethereum blockchain only. Okay, because when we talk about smart contracts, it's all about Ethereum blockchain. Okay, so MetaMask. So in the MetaMask, let me click on that. Okay, so let me click on this MetaMask, which is offered by https://metamask.io. Let me click on that. So when I click on that, it is giving an option to add to your Chrome. Okay, so we are having a button called Add to Chrome. So when you click on that, so this extension will be added to your Chrome, which is to your browser. So let me click on Add to Chrome. So let me click on this here, Add extension. Okay, so in few seconds it will be added to your Chrome browser. So this is very simple, right? So in your Mozilla Firefox also you can do that. So in settings, in extensions, you can search for MetaMask. So when you search for MetaMask, you can easily add that as an extension to your browser. Okay. Okay, it is now added. So you can able to see the message also. MetaMask has been added to your Chrome. Okay. Now it is redirecting to the home page of MetaMask extension here. So you can able to see a fox. Okay, it is following the mouse even, isn't it? So welcome to MetaMask, connecting you to Ethereum and decentralized web applications. We are happy to see you. Okay, some default message has been displaying out here. So let me click on Get Started. So let me click on Get Started. Then two options have came up here. One is no, I already have a seed phrase, which means you are already having a wallet on another laptop or another browser. So if you want to import that wallet here, you can import it. Okay. So, for as a beginner, let me click on create a wallet. Let me show you how to create a wallet. Okay. So, let us click on create a wallet. Create a wallet. Okay, I clicked on create a wallet. So, it is asking some suggestions, help us to improve MetaMask. So, MetaMask will always allow you to opt out via settings, send anonymous click and page view events, maintain a public aggregate dashboard to educate the community, never collect keys or addresses or transactions or balances. So, never collect your full IP address, never sell data for profit. So, it is like a so they are asking us to agree. Okay. If you are not interested, you can click on no thanks. Okay. I will give I agree. Okay. You can also click on no thanks. Okay. So, then it is asking us to create a password. So, here we have to enter a new password. So, let me enter my password. I will give a random password. You can have any password. Okay. So, say P0. Okay. Let me have my password. So, I have given some password. Okay. And then let me select this agreement. I have agreed to the terms of use. Okay. And let me click on create. So, when I click on create, immediately a secret backup phrase will be logged. Okay. So, when you click here, it will be revealed. Okay. And this passphrase is very, very important. You have to store this in a safe place. You should not display to everyone. Okay. Or you can say remind me later. If you want to see what is the secret words, you can click on this. Okay. But in the webinar, as the video is YouTube live, so I will not click on this. Okay. I will click remind me later. But if you want to do it, if you want to see what is the seed phrase, then you can store that seed phrase in a safe place. Okay. So, the warning, what is the warning here? Never disclose your backup phrase. Anyone with this phrase can take your Ether forever. Okay. You cannot have a backup also. Okay. So, this passphrase will be acting like a second password. So, we have kept one password, right. So, this is a second password. Okay. By using this password also we can retrieve your account. Okay. So, let me click on remind me later. If you want to see, you can click on this. So, I will click remind me later. Yes, you can able to see my wallet. You can now your wallet is live. Okay. This is a main wallet. This is a real wallet. Okay. So, let me put some name to this. Okay. Let me give some name. It is showing account 1. So, let me write my name. So, account details. So, let me put my name. Okay. So, this is called the unique public key. Okay. So, let me put my name, so, saying that this is my wallet. Okay. Generally in PhonePe you will be having QR codes, right. So, when you scan that QR code, you can make a transaction. So, here also when you send this QR code, people can send money, virtual cryptocurrencies to your account. Okay. So, there is no account. So, but when they make this, when they scan this, when in their account, if they have cryptocurrencies, then obviously that cryptocurrencies will be transferred to your account. So, this is called public IP, public address, which is like public key. So, this is nothing but the digital signature. Okay. This is what I am talking about. So, every wallet will have a public key, which is a public address. Okay. So, if you want to make a transaction, say if you want to send a transaction, on this address the transaction will be made. Okay. If you want to receive some coin, say if you want to receive some crypto coin, say if you want to receive some ethers, then you have to share this QR code, or you can share this public key. Okay. So, this is public key, getting my point. So, private key will be hidden. Okay. Anyways, just close this. So, you can able to see. You can able to see how many ethers here? 0 ethers. So, there are no ethers because just now we have created it, right. So, if you want to purchase a ether, you can click on buy. Okay. When you click on buy, so ether. Okay. So, you have to understand what is the cost of ether. Okay. So, as we are using Ethereum blockchain, so we have to check. Okay, 1 ether. So, according to me, it will be around more than 25,000. Yes. You can able to see 1 ether is almost equal to 28,361 rupees as of now. Okay, as of now, if you want to purchase 1 ether, so you have to pay how much money? 28,361 rupees. So, in the similar way, if you look at Bitcoin, okay, 1 BTC, if you want to convert, if you want to check what is the current 1 Bitcoin is almost equal to 8,17,440 rupees. So which means that if you want to purchase 1 Bitcoin, you have to invest almost 8,17,000 rupees. Okay, but 1 Ether, when you look at 1 Ether, so 1 Ether is almost 28,000 rupees. Okay, so 1 Ether is obviously around 28,000. If you want to purchase a new Ether, you have to invest almost 28,000. Okay, so but I am not interested as of now in the practical demo. So let me have a private test Ethers. So these are like demo Ethers. Okay, so no need to purchase with money. Okay, you can get private Ethers which are like test Ethers. So when you have this test Ethers, we can, if you don't have balance, okay, we cannot make a transaction. So it can be anything. Okay, the transaction can be sending money, or the transaction can be storing the my land legal document into the blockchain. That can be anything. Okay, if I want to make a transaction, I should have some money in my wallet. If I don't have money in my wallet, I cannot make the transaction. Okay, so here it is 0 Ethers. Okay, so let me jump into the presentation. Okay, my wallet is ready. Okay, my wallet is ready. Let me jump back to the presentation. So let me follow this presentation so that it will be easy for you. Okay, if you are a beginner. So we have done all this. Okay. So we have identified what is your Ethereum address, right? What is your wallet address? Are you able to understand? Are you getting my voice? Okay. So as I I've shown you the public address, right? So that is nothing but your Ethereum wallet address. Okay, so that's all. We have created a crypto wallet by using MetaMask. So that can so what is Ethereum test network? That is what we have to understand. What is Ethereum test network? Okay, because we cannot purchase 1 Ether now with 28,000 rupees. If you want to purchase, you can purchase it, but I don't suggest now as of now, because we are learning, right? So let's learn it first and later we can do experiments. So Ethereum test network. What is Ethereum test network? So in order to understand how blockchain application works, in order to understand how to make transactions in the blockchain network, we need some test networks. Okay, which works like a blockchain, real blockchain networks, but it is like a dummy network. Okay, I should not say dummy, but it is like a test networks. Okay, which is equal to original network, but you don't require real Ether. So there will be test Ether. So you'll have two types of Ether: real Ether and test Ether. Real Ether is a original Ether where you can purchase it when you have money, and the second one is test Ether. So test Ether is nothing but in order to understand how blockchain application works. So you need this test Ether. Okay, let's talk about what is test network. What is test network? Test network are nothing but the networks on Ethereum blockchain are available. So there are some test networks available on blockchain network. In order to understand how to develop applications on blockchain, how to deploy applications on blockchain. Okay, without having a real Ether. Okay, without having real Ether, so we can understand how to make transactions here. So there are multiple test networks available on Ethereum blockchain. Out of them, one is called Ropsten test network. So in this webinar, I wanted to use a simple test network, which is Ropsten test network. So let's look into Ropsten test network, why I have opted this. Okay, so I'll show you how to access this Ropsten test network. So this is like a dummy network. Okay, I should not say dummy, but it is, as of now, for a beginner, it's a dummy network. Okay, you can use normal test Ethers in order to make transactions here. Okay, let's understand what is Ropsten test network. Ropsten is one of the test networks available in the Ethereum blockchain, but most resemble as a main network. Okay, the process of implementing applications and the process of deployment and the process of transactions will be resembles as a main network. That is why I have taken it. So there are various test networks, but they don't resemble like a original network. Okay, so there they follow different consensus network algorithms there. But as of now, this follows as a main network. Okay, so that is why I have taken this Ropsten test network. So it uses similar proof of work consensus algorithm. So the consensus algorithm is nothing but so as we discussed, 51% of the people should accept it, right? So that is nothing but this. So they will be accepting based on the proof of work. So what is this proof of work will be discussed later in the coming webinars, but as of now, let's say, so this is one algorithm which is used to validate the blocks, okay. And blocks are introduced in the test network at an average of 30 seconds. For every 30 seconds, they keep updating the blocks, okay. And this network is supported by Go Ethereum and Parity. So it is supported by both frameworks. So you can obviously use this Robson test network in all the blockchain applications. So let's explore some blocks, okay. Let's see what is this Robson test network. So this is a website, robson.etherscan.io. So when you enter this on your browser, you can able to see the test network there. So let's explore some of the important features in the test network, okay. So I have opened the browser and then I have entered this robson.etherscan.io. Yes. So this is the website of the test network where you can able to see different types of blocks. So there was a block added 37 seconds ago. So you can able to see something like search bar. So you can search for some blocks, okay, if you need it. And also you can able to see latest blocks. So what is a block? Which is 87 lakhs, okay. So you have a block ID like 874144780 which is added 37 seconds ago, which means that a block is added. So you can see latest blocks which are added to this test network here, okay. If you wanted to see all the blocks, you can click on this. And also you can able to see latest transactions here, okay. So these transactions are happening on the test network. So they are not deploying on the original network, okay. They are just testing it for the production phase or for the research phase. They are just deploying it on the test networks here. So you can able to see different types of transactions here. You will have latest transactions, okay, which has happened on the test network. So in this webinar, I just wanted to show you how to add a block to this Robson test network, and also I wanted to show you how to make a transaction here, okay. So these are the blocks. So you can able to see, let's click on that. So you can able to see, so when you click on the block, you will be able to see what is a block height, which is nothing but block ID, so which is like the block number, or you can say, and the timestamp. So you'll have transactions, as I said, okay. You'll have transactions. How many transactions are there? 23 transactions are there. And who is mined? So mined is nothing but the person who accepts this, who validates this block and who adds it, okay. So it was mined by so and so, public address is there. So this is nothing but public address, so public key. So we cannot you cannot see the names here, okay. So everything is written in terms of public key and private key. So here you can able to see public key only. So we can, the identity is not revealed. You can able to see what is the information, but you cannot see who it was, okay. So because everything is encrypted. So this is a digital signature of the miner. And the block reward, how much, what is the incentive given? Incentive given is 2.0124527 ethers. So this much of incentive is given to this block for the miner, so which is equal to almost 56,000 rupees, right? So 2 ethers are nothing but 56,000 rupees. So uncles rewarded, so we'll talk about this later. So difficulty level, so difficulty is nothing but nonce. So as we are discussing about nonce, right, number at once. So number at once is nothing but difficulty level of the block. So the difficulty level, if you see, it's almost more than 6.4 crore, okay. So every block will have a difficulty level, okay. Every block will have a difficulty level. And also total difficulty will be there. Total difficulty we'll discuss it later, okay. So when we talk about mini blockchain implementation on Python, I'll talk about what is this difficulty level, what is this proof of work and all. But as of now, we'll see these are the different types of information available in the block, okay. Gas used, how much amount of gas is being used in the transaction, okay. So gas is nothing but transaction fee, okay. So here generally when you cook, so some amount of gas will be transacted there, right? So in the similar way, here also when you make a transaction, certain amount of gas will be deducted from the wallet. So the amount of gas will be equal to the amount of work has done by the miner there. So there is a gas limit and there is extra data. So these are the different types of information which is related to the block, okay. So here, so in the webinar demo, so here in the next 30 minutes, I wanted to add a block to this test network. I wanted to make some transactions here using our wallet, okay. So let me jump back. So let me show you the main page. So here You can search by using your wallet address. So as of now you are having your wallet address, right? For example, say, so let me look at my wallet. Okay, so let me copy my address. Okay, so I have copied the address. I will paste it here. Okay, I will paste it here. So this is my address. I will search. Okay, if there is any information related to it, then that information will be displayed here. As of now, it is showing there are no matching entries. It means that I have not made any transactions. Okay, I have not made any transactions. If I made any transaction, then that data I can able to see it here. So as of now, there is no transactions on this address. Okay, so let's make some transactions on the Ethereum test network, so that we will be understanding how to add block and how to do this. Okay, so let me jump back to the presentation. So any queries you can ask me. Okay, so that's all about Ropsten test network, which looks like a normal blockchain Ethereum network. So everything will be same. So you can able to see what are the blocks available there, and also you can able to see what are the transactions available. If you want to see all the transactions, you can click on view all transaction. As I said, it is public too. It is open to everyone. You can see the transaction, but you cannot see who transacted it. Okay, from you cannot understand from and to. Okay, generally transaction will be happen in between two people, right? Two entities. So generally from and to, right? So you cannot able to see extract the information from there, because everything is encrypted. So that is why. So it is very popular. So you can search for your transaction. Okay, you can enter your address and you can search for your transactions. But I have shown you, right? So I have not received any. Okay. And also you can search for your contract also. Okay, as of now there is no contract written, right? So you can search on your contract. So I will show it this later after writing the contract, because the main agenda of this webinar is to write a contract, right? So we'll write it later. Okay. Now there is a process. So there is a question. Yes, we can make private key is not visible to everyone. Okay, so that is hidden. Public key is open to everyone. I am showing public key, my private key will be hidden. So there will be an option called export private key. So when you click on that, the private key will be exported from the wallet to your machine. Okay, we cannot show you the private key to everyone. Okay, the public key, so on the wallet one address is there, right? 0x some address is there. So that is nothing but public. So private, it is hidden in the wallet. So you have to export it out. So 51% validation will be on proof of work. Okay, that I will explain it later in the next webinars. Okay, so as the webinar is confined to smart contract, so you will have proof of work. So I'll explain it later, but as of now, because it's a different scenario. Okay, it's a different thing. So I'll explain it later, but let me jump into the little bit hands-on. But I will give you a hint, you can search it up. 51% validation will be on proof of work. So proof of work plays a vital role in validating your chain, and also in understanding who has to receive the incentives and all. Because a miner will be mining that block, right? So once miner mined that block, so which is based on the proof of work. So generally some blockchains will have proof of work. Some blockchains will have proof of stake. So you'll have different types of consensus network. Okay, so 51% is all about consensus. So that will be based on the proof of work or proof of stake. So based on the work that miner will do. Okay, so based on that they will do. But I'll explain it later. So that's a different scenario. So let's add some test ether. Now the test ether. So let's jump into the browser. Okay. Okay. So let's jump into the browser. Let me jump to MetaMask. Okay, so here on the right side you can able to see main Ethereum network. Okay, it is on the main Ethereum network. Let me click on this. So you can able to see different types of test networks and also local networks also. So out of which there is Ropsten test network. So I have to opt this. Okay, Ropsten test network. So let me opt Ropsten test network. So when you opt Ropsten test network, the ethers which you get are only work in the Ropsten blockchain network. Okay, so they don't act in the main Ethereum network. If you get 10 ethers here, so 10 ethers are free. Okay, they are test ethers. So you cannot access them in the real blockchain network. Okay. So I have opted Ropsten test network. Okay, I have opted Ropsten test network. So after this, what I have to do is I have to purchase. So I have to buy some ethers. Okay. So let me click on buy. Let me click on buy. So here what I have to do is I have to click on test faucet. So faucet is nothing but you can see little drop, right? So this is nothing but ether, which is requesting from free ethers of Ropsten test network to our account. Okay. So what we have to do is we have to click on get ether. Get ether. Then it will be redirected to test faucet. Then here what we have to do is we have to request 1 ether. Okay, or you can have request say 10 ethers also. So as of now, let me request 1 ether from faucet. Okay. So please click on this request 1 ether from faucet. So you can able to once again let me zoom out. Okay. So here it is asking us to select the crypto wallet. So I have selected this. Okay. There is only one crypto wallet available on my account on my browser. So it has selected this after clicking on request 1 ether from faucet. So it will be selecting my wallet, crypto wallet. So to this crypto wallet, that ether has to be added. So let me click on next. So when I click on next, so this is my public address which is hidden. Okay, let me click on connect. So when I click on connect, so the transaction is made. Okay. Now the transaction is made to my account. Okay. How many ethers? 1 ether. 1 ether has been added to my account. Okay. Let me jump back. Let me close this. Okay. And let me refresh. Okay. Let me refresh this. Okay. You can able to see 1 ether there. So like this you have to add some test ethers. Okay. So 1 ether has been added. 1 ether, you can click on this. So it has received. 1 ether is received from the test network. Okay. From this faucet 1 ether has been requested. Okay. Let me request 1 more ether. What you have to do? You have to click on this, right? So you have to click on request 1 ether from faucet. So let me zoom out. Okay. Okay. You can able to see the second transaction is also happened here. You can able to see second transaction is also happened. So let me jump to my wallet. So let me reload the page. Okay. So if I reload the page, I can able to see the number of ethers which is added recently also. Okay, 2 ethers. So I have requested 2 times. Okay, so 2 ethers. So 2 ethers are sufficient for me as of now in the demo application. If you want, you can access. Generally, the maximum number of test ethers will be 5 only. So you can get only 5 test ethers as of now. After the number of ethers goes 0, then again you can request more 5 ethers. So like this, you have to keep accessing some test ethers in order to deploy some blockchain applications. Okay. So you need some money, right? If you want to make transaction, you need some money. That money is nothing but ether here. For every transaction, certain amount of gas will be deducted from your account from the 2 ethers. So that I will show you later in the hands-on. But as of now, we have requested ethers. So as of now, we have requested ethers from the test network. Okay. So we have got 2 ethers as of now. Or else you can request 1 more ether also. Okay. So when you click on this, but on single day, you cannot request more than 5 ethers. Okay. Your IP address will be blocked. So let me click once more. Okay. So let me see. Yeah. I can see 3 transactions here. It means that 3 times I have requested. So I guess the number of ethers goes to 3 now. So let me reload. So these are like test ethers. Okay. These are like test ethers. So as of now it is not added. So let me reload. Yep. So there are 3 ethers. So 3 ethers, where are these 3 ethers? 3 ethers can work only in Ropsten test network. For example, say, let me switch to main network. Okay. If I switch to main network, how many number of ethers are there in my account? 0 ethers. But when I jump to testnet, Ropsten test network, you can able to see there are 3 ethers. Okay, so that is what I'm saying. So your ethers will work only in, your test ethers will be working only in the Ropsten test network, because through Ropsten test network we have requested the test ethers. But if you select the remaining test network, say you cannot display, so the number of ethers are 0. So in the Coven test network we have not requested anything, right? So it will be 0. So in the Ropsten test network we have requested the test network to give us some ethers in order to test some applications. Okay, so we have 3 ethers. Now the wallet is filled with money. The wallet is filled with money. Let's jump into transactions. Okay, let's jump into how to make a transaction. If you want to make a transaction, we have to create a contract. Okay, what is contract? Contract is nothing but a program which is written to tell the miner saying that this is my transaction. Okay, so let me show you that. Let me jump back to the presentation for better understanding. So let me zoom out. So hope you have received your ether, test ethers. Okay, so once you receive test ethers, you can jump to you can do all this. Okay, so your wallet is pumped right away. Now this is the time we have to jump to the final part. So we have understood how to create a crypto wallet, and also we have understood how to fill our wallet, right? So these are the steps. So what we did here, we have opened our MetaMask crypto wallet, and then we have changed the network to Ropsten test network, and then we have clicked on buy to get some test ether, and then we have copy pasted our wallet address. So we have copy pasted our wallet address there, and then test ethers are added to our wallet. So that is a 5-step process if you want to acquire some test ethers. Okay, so let's jump into the last phase. So if you have any queries in here, you can ask me. Okay, let's jump into the next part. So the next part is remix IDE. So we need to write a smart contract. If you want to make a transaction, you have to write a contract on Ethereum blockchain. If you want to write a contract, you need a programming language. The programming language is Solidity. So it is based on JavaScript. Okay, it is based on JavaScript. If you are good at JavaScript, then this programming language will be very simple. If you are good at any object oriented, okay, if you are good at any object oriented programming language, then also this will be very simple. So we are interested to make a transaction. So every transaction there will be a limit. Okay, so 0.0000 something, some number will be there. I'll show you. It is based on the amount of gas you fill in. If you want to pay more, then the miner will be doing it fastly. So it's all related to the amount of incentives that is paid to the miner. If you want to pay more, the faster will be the block adding response. Okay, if you want to add block instantaneously, then you have to pay more. So bidding will happen. In the real time scenario, what happens is there will be a bidding. So miners will be keeping them in the queue. Okay, so the person who pays more transaction fee will be mined first. So that is how the process will happen. But as it is the test process, so we don't have any bidding concept here. Okay, so I'll show you how to increase the transaction fee and all. But as of now, the transaction fee is very less. Okay, but in the real time scenario, it will be bidded. Okay, according to the miners and all. So remix IDE. So what is this remix IDE? Why we need this IDE? We wanted to make transactions on the blockchain network. If you want to make a transaction, you need a contract. If you want to write a contract, contract is a daily routine word, right? So contract is nothing but mutual understanding, right? So here also we have to write a contract. So in the contract we will be mentioning some concepts, okay, some data, some piece of information. Okay, so that piece of information may not be a financial transaction, may not be financial data, it can be any data. Okay, so if you want to make that contract, you need a programming language. That programming language is nothing but Solidity. So that is based on JavaScript, that is an object-oriented programming language. So if you want to write that program, you need a IDE, right? So that IDE is nothing but Remix IDE. Remix IDE is an open source online web IDE. So it is supported with browser. So no need to install any software. So we can use this Remix IDE so directly on the browser. Okay, so as I said, Solidity, you need a programming language called Solidity in order to make a contract. So this is a very popular programming language. So I'll be talking about the syntaxes of Solidity in the next webinar. Okay, as of now, let's confine to some concepts, okay, some syntaxes in Solidity. So for us to make first smart contract, okay, and Solidity, as I said, it is an object-oriented, high-level programming language for implementing smart contracts on Ethereum blockchain. So Solidity was influenced by a programming language called C++, Python, and JavaScript. So C++, Python, Java, both three are object-oriented, right? So they are designed to target the Ethereum virtual machine (EVM). Okay. So let's create our first Solidity file. So Solidity file is nothing but creating a smart contract. So why to create a smart contract? Because we wanted to make a transaction on the blockchain network. So let's deep dive into the next webinar about Solidity. Okay. So you just be in the WhatsApp group, be in the community. So we'll pass all the updates. So meanwhile, we wanted to make a short videos also, because we cannot explain each and everything in the 2-hour session, right? So for example, the people are asking me about, what is this proof of work, what is this consensus, and what is this mining. There are a lot of terminologies has to be understandable, right? So that I will make short videos and I'll put it in the YouTube channel, so that you can also access them. Okay, so for better understanding. So let's jump into the part. So how to make a smart contract in the Remix IDE. So there are certain options in the Remix IDE where you have to understand. One is called File Explorer. So I will show and I will explain, okay? So that will be good. So let me jump into this web IDE. So the web IDE is http://remix.ethereum.org. So this is a web IDE. Let me open that in my browser. Okay, let me open that. http://remix.ethereum.org. Okay, remix.ethereum.org. So this is the website. So let me enter that. It is now redirecting. Okay, so let me magnify out. Something is entered wrong. 1 second. Okay, so remix.ethereum.org. So that is the website. So this is the web IDE for creating smart contracts on Ethereum blockchain network. So if you want to make a real contract also, you can use this web IDE. Okay. So here, let me focus on the properties. Okay, let me focus on the options. So here, if you see, you will have some options. Okay, so this is called File Explorer. So which is nothing but you can able to create some files. Okay, the Solidity file. You can able to see madblocks.syl there. Okay, you can able to create some Solidity files. So which is nothing but File Explorer. Generally, it is a known word, right? File Explorer. So this is the icon to select the File Explorer. And the second option is compiler. So here, when you click on that, after writing the program, we have to compile the program, right? So you need a compiler. So this IDE is integrated with Solidity compiler. The Remix IDE is integrated with Solidity compiler, and you can select the version. So you can select the version. Okay, and then you can compile it. So after writing the program, we can compile this. Okay, so you'll have compiler, Solidity compiler. So this is what I wanted to show you. Okay. And the next one is, after compiling the program, what we have to do? We have to deploy it, right? So when you click on the third option, which is deploy and run, if you want to make a transaction, we have to write a program. We have to compile the program. After compiling the program, we have to deploy it. So after deploying, so there is a gas limit here. So while deploying the contract, you have to put the gas limit. Okay, so the miner will not go beyond it. You can put a gas limit here. Okay, and you can click on deploy. So as of now there is no program compiled, right? So it is not showing anything here, but I will show you later. But by using this option we can deploy it. Okay, you will have JavaScript virtual machine. So if you select JavaScript virtual machine as an environment, so that is a local network. Okay, so instead of that you can select injected web3. So you can easily get all the Ropsten networks there. Okay, you can easily access to your wallet. So here in crypto wallet, as it is configured with Ropsten test network, so you can able to see the same thing on Remix also. So because it is added as an extension, right? So it takes the data from there. Okay, so you'll have deploy and run. So you can deploy it and you can run it. So these are the 3 quick options which I wanted to show. This is extension plugin manager. Okay, so you can integrate, you can add any plugin which is related to it. Okay, so these are the 3 quick options. One is file explorer, where you can create files. After creating file, we have to compile the program by using some compiler, and after compiling the program, what we have to do, we have to deploy it and run on the test networks, or you can select virtual machine also. Okay, let me explore all this by after writing the program. Okay, so are there similar website? Yes, for different blockchain networks you'll have different IDEs. Okay, so as Ethereum is public, so people are using this in the public domain, so I just wanted to show you all this. Okay, as a beginner this is fine to start. Okay, if you are a beginner in blockchain, if you want to start learning blockchain, then obviously Ethereum and Remix altogether will help you out. Okay, so let's start writing a program. Let's jump back to the presentation. Okay, so here, so let's create our first smart contract. Okay, so we have to open our Remix IDE. So we have opened it already, right? And then step 2. So what is the step 2 here? Just I wanted to delete all the temporary files. So when you open it for the first time, you'll have some temporary files. Okay, so let us delete all those temporary files and let us create a new Solidity file. So Solidity is a programming language in order to create a smart contract. What is smart contract? By using smart contract, you can make transactions. Okay, so let's do that. But here, what kind of transactions I want to make, that is what I have to tell you. So I want to make a transaction on BTech percentage, as majority of the students, right? Majority of you are students. So I just wanted to make a smart contract on BTech percentages. Say if I append a percentage, for example, say my first semester percentage is say 80. Okay, then I will upload that transaction into the blockchain, saying that I'm so and so, so my percentage is this. No one can append it. No one can tamper the data, right? So it is open to everyone, saying that so and so person is having so and so percentage. Okay, so like that I wanted to create a transactions. Okay, so let me show you that step by step with different syntaxes. So let me jump back to the IDE. Okay, so let me focus on this. Okay, so let me delete this. Okay, so select and delete. Okay, so let me create a new Solidity file. So all the Solidity sample files are deleted. So let me create a new Solidity file. So let me click on plus. So when you click on plus beside browser, you can able to create a sample file. Okay, so let me click on plus. So it is asking file name. So let me write our group name, mbg, say first contract. I can give any name. Okay, so mbg first contract .sol, extension is important. So mbg first contract .sol. Let me click on OK. So when I click on OK, you can able to see the same file is added, mbg first contract.sol, and a new text file is also been opened here, right? So here we have to make we have to write program for making the transaction. Okay, let's do that. Okay, I'm just resizing the editor. Okay, so here in the first step So I'll tell you, this is a basic Solidity program which I wanted to make, since it is a first webinar on Solidity. So in the next webinar I will explain all the syntaxes related to it, but as of now let's confine to simple programs, okay? So which is like hello world program. So I just don't want to make hello world program. I just wanted to make a BTech transactions related to BTech percentages here. Okay. So here what I have to do is, after creating an empty file, we have to tell the compiler, okay? So there are different versions in the compilers, right? So I have shown you, right? So on the compiler there are different types of things, right? So we have to choose one compiler out of this. So let me select one compiler. As of now it is selected as 0.6.6, right? So I will write the same version here, okay? I can use any of those compilers. So the syntax to integrate, syntax to call that compiler is like, pragma. So let me focus on this, let me zoom, okay? Hope it is visible to everyone. Okay. Pragma so pragma is a keyword, okay? So Solidity space 0.6.6 pragma Solidity 0.6.6. So pragmas, generally in object oriented languages you will have this, giving hint to the compiler. So we are giving hint to the compiler saying that yes, so you have to take this version, okay, in order to compile. While compiling this program, so the compiler will be selected as 0.6.6. okay. So now the syntaxes are related to this version, okay, 0.6.6, or you can have any kind of version there. Now what we have to do, we have to create a contract, okay. What we have to do, we have to create a contract. So let us write. So the syntax, comments, right? Comment is slash. Now we have to create a contract. The syntax is contract space, okay. So let us have the contract name like, BTech underscore aggregate, okay. So let us have the contract something like contract space. So this is how you need to create a smart contract, okay. Contract space contract name, so which is nothing but BTech underscore aggregate. So in this we have to create some logic, okay, some functions. So the function is like, one is to update your aggregate, second one is to get the aggregate, right? Say in the first semester I got 80%, in the second semester I got 60%, say in third semester I got 80%. So like this we have to update the BTech aggregates, right? So BTech percentage. So let me take one variable in order to manipulate all the data. So let me write int. So int is a data type, you know it, right? Int BTech underscore percentage. So there is no floating data type in Solidity, okay, there is only integer data type. So int BTech underscore percentage semicolon. So here I have taken a variable in order to manipulate the percentages. So BTech underscore percentage semicolon, okay. So this BTech underscore percentage should be handled by all the functions which are written inside the contract. So that is why what I have to do is I have to create a constructor object. So hope you are aware of object oriented. So I have to create a constructor such that, so this variable can be accessed by all the member functions, okay. So let me write that. Constructor is a keyword, okay. So you're getting some hints. Constructors space parenthesis open close. So I wanted to make a public constructor, okay. Let me put an access called public and cloud bracket open and close. So inside constructor I wanted to access this variable called BTech underscore percentage by every method which is defined in the smart contract. So initially let the percentage be 0. So here what I did here, immediately when the smart contract is created, so this constructor what it will do, so the BTech underscore percentage can be handled by all the methods which is defined here, right. So let me create two functions. So what is one function doing? One function will update, one function will return what is a percentage of the student, okay, what is a percentage of the student. Okay. And the second function, and what is the second function? Second function is to update. We have to update semester marks, right? So when you are updating semester marks, so each and every time a new block will be created, okay, because the block which is added previous will not be edited, right? So they are immutable. So what will happen? A new block will be created, okay. Okay. So here we have to create two functions. One function is like, the function which will return BTech percentage. Second function is to update semester marks. Okay. So let me do that. So let me have a function definitions here. So if you want to have a function definition, what you have to write is, you have to mention a function keyword, function space. So let's say a function like get percentage. Okay. Any name you can write, get percentage. But here we have to give only view access. Okay. So we have to give only view. Get percentage is nothing but returning the percentage value, right? So we have to make it view access only and public. So any method can access it. Public returns. So there is a return integer value, right? So we have to get percentage is all about returning the percentage value, right? So returns. So what it will return, that we have to mention here. So it will return an integer value. So this is a syntax. So what we have to write? So we have to write function, which is a keyword, space function name. So in this function we should give only view access. Okay. So that is why I have written a keyword called view. Okay, which means that you are giving view access to the function public. So public, so any method can access it. Returns of int. So it has to return integer. Okay. So this is how the syntax is there. If there is no return, so no need of writing returns of int. Okay. So as of now this function will have return, but the second function will have argument. So there is no argument here, right? So we have only a return. Okay. So let us enter into the function. Okay. So let me enter into the function. Let me return. So what I have to return? I have to return BTech percentage, isn't it? I have to return BTech percentage. So here update semester marks. So I wanted to update the semester marks. So let me update that. Function space add percentage. So here we have to pass certain arguments. So what I have to pass? I have to pass what is the semester int s and what is the marks percentage. So int m. Okay. So here we have to update the value. So you should not put view access here. If you put view access, the values cannot be updated. Okay. So here we have to write, we have to give public access, but it doesn't return anything. Okay. So no need to write returns of here. So here we have arguments. So what are the arguments here? Semester ID and marks percentage. If it is first semester, what we have to do? So initially it is 0, right? Initially the BTech percentage is 0. If it is first semester, what we have to do? We have to append. If semester is 1, okay, if it is first semester, so you have to do in such a way that BTech percentage, you will have plus equal to, you are aware of it, compound assignment operator, plus equal to m. So which is nothing but marks percentage. BTech underscore percentage plus equal to m. From the second semester, you have to do aggregate, right? So from the second semester, you have to do average, which is aggregate. So let's say else. Only for first semester there is no aggregate because it is first semester, right? So in else we have to add the percentage, and also we have to aggregate it. So we have to divide by 2, okay, because it is holding 2 percentages there. So BTech underscore percentage equal to BTech percentage by 2, okay, we have to do aggregation there. Okay. So hope you are aware of, hope you understood this percentages, because that is what we do generally in BTech, right? So we have written this program simple program. So here what are the transactions? So transaction is nothing, get percentage is a transaction, okay, add percentage is a transaction, okay, we are adding a percentage, that is a transaction. So getting percentage is a transaction. So there are 2 types of transactions here. So we can get percentage, and also we can add percentage. So I just wanted to implement this basic program, which are like, so I wanted to explain, I wanted to show you the two basic function syntaxes. One is like, returning an integer value, and the second one is passing some arguments. Okay, these are the basic syntaxes. So if you are good at any programming language, you can easily understand all this. If you are good at object oriented, then obviously you can have the same logic there also, right? So I have written the program, so Control S to save. So the program is saved. Then after writing the program, what we have to do? So we have to compile the program, isn't it? So after writing the program, we have to compile the program. So let's jump into compiler phase. So in compiler, what we have to do? So if you put auto compile, if any program is edited, so that will be compiled automatically, or you can disable this, you can compile it manual also. So here there is an option called compile mbg first contract.syl. So this is our first contract. So let me click on compile. So when I click on compile, you can able to see the result here. Okay. So everything is fine. There is no error. So everything is compiled. Okay. And then let's jump to deploy and run. Okay, let me show you the output. So here, so what is the environment here? JavaScript virtual machine. That is the environment here. And what is the account? You can select any account. Okay. So let's select an account which is having ethers. So these accounts are not having any ethers, right? They are having 0 ethers. If it is 0 ether, you cannot make a transaction. Okay. So let's put some random number. Okay. They are like, dummy ethers. They are not test ethers also. They are like dummy ethers. So let's select one account. Okay. So saying that this is our account. So gas limit, you can increase or decrease, whatever, you can do it. Okay. So this is the gas limit. So no need of entering any value input. Okay. So let's click on deploy. So this is a contract, right? So btech underscore aggregate is a contract. So we have to click on deploy. So when you click on deploy, immediately, so it is deployed on the virtual machine. It is not deployed on the test network. You cannot able to see it right away. So it is deployed in the virtual machine. Okay. On the virtual machine, so it is deployed now. So when it is deployed, you can able to see deployed contracts. Okay. You can able to see deployed contracts. So under deployed contracts, you can able to see your aggregate contract. So btech aggregate contract. When you click on this right arrow, okay, you can able to see two buttons here. So these are the functions. So these functions are enabled because we have given public access, right? So they can be accessed. So here get percentage is there, add percentage is there. So get percentage. So when I click on get percentage, if you see the call is happened, and the call is happened. So what is a minimum value there? 0, right? So 0 is the default value because I have not added any percentage right away. So you are getting 0. So when you click on this button, a transaction will happen. Okay. So it sends a request to the blockchain network and gathers the data, and that data I'm showing it here. And let me add some value. Okay. So let me add like say 1 first semester, comma, say I have secured only 80%, 1 comma 80. So let me click on add percentage. After entering these details, let me click on add percentage. So this is like debugging. Okay. So generally you will have web interface and all. So I'll show it later, web interface and all. For time being, let me enter all this data from here. But in the real time scenario, you'll have HTML page. From the HTML page, it will be sending into the the decentralized application, and on the decentralized application, it will be connected with the Ethernet blockchain. So here, let me click on add percentage. When I click on add percentage, again it is sending a transaction. Okay. Since it is in virtual machine, you can able to see VM. Okay. So this is for whether to check whether the program logic is working good or not. 1 comma 80. So let me click on get percentage. When I click on get percentage, we have to see 80 here. So instead of 0, we have to see 80. Okay. In the second semester, let's say in the second semester, I have secured 90%. Say, okay, I have secured 90%. Then what should happen? 90 plus 80 is 170. So 170 by 2 is almost 85. That is how aggregate is calculated in the program. Okay, let me click on add percentage. Okay, so let me click on get percentage now. So when I click on get percentage, you can able to see 85 coming up, isn't it? you can able to see 85. So which is nothing but 90 plus 80 is 170. 170 by 2 is 85. I can able to see the data here. Getting my point. So here I am running on the virtual machine, which is JavaScript virtual machine. Okay. So JavaScript virtual machine, it is also showing some dummy ethers. So since it is having dummy ethers, you can able to see the amount of ether is getting reduced. So previously it is 100 ethers, but as of now you can see 99.9999, so on 801634 ethers is balance, because for every transaction some amount will be deducted. Okay. So this is on the JavaScript virtual machine, but it is working good, right? So our program is working good, but we have not implemented in the real test network. Okay. So let me show you how to do that. Okay. If you want to do that, what you have to do is, let us deploy this contract on the test network. So far we have deployed it on the virtual machine, JavaScript virtual machine. So let me select an environment called injected web3. Okay. So injected web3 is nothing but it will be connected with MetaMask wallet. Okay. So when I select this, so you can able to see, where is this? Okay. So here, let me show you that. So what is my public IP? So let me show you my account details. My public IP is 0x986 and so on. Okay, 0x986. The same public address it has to display here. Okay. So when you select injected web3, so I have accepted it. So here before coming to this page, I have accepted here. So when you select injected web3, immediately a request will be sent to your MetaMask wallet. You have to accept it. You have to click next, continue. So you can able to see the same address here, 0x986. That is my wallet address. Okay, that is my wallet address, 986. So you can able to see 986 here also, which is nothing but this is my wallet. So how many ethers are there? 3 ethers are there. Okay. So in my MetaMask also there are 3 ethers. Okay. So the same network, same account it is using now. So it is connected to my own wallet. Okay. So on the Ropsten test network. Okay. So when you select this, immediately it will ask some settings. Okay. You have to enable it. You have to click on next, continue. Okay. Let me deploy it. Let me deploy that contract. So now it is sending a request. Now it is sending a request to the Ropsten test network. Then it will ask this. So how much amount of fee is being calculated here, you can see. So this is the gas fee. So for every transaction you make in the test network. So previously we have deployed it in the JavaScript virtual machine, right? So in the JavaScript virtual machine, money is also dummy there. But here in the Ropsten test network, so if you make any transaction, what is the transaction here which I am making now? Deploying my smart contract. So deploying my smart contract is also a transaction. So that is why what it is asking. It is asking me that, so if you want to make this transaction, this is a fee. How many ethers? 0.000223. So that is a fee which is calculated for this transaction called deploying the contract. So let me click on confirm. So when I click on confirm, immediately a block will be created in the blockchain. Okay, immediately I will get an update here. Let me show you that. But in the JavaScript virtual machine, instantly we have got the details, right? But here, as it is private test network, it will take some time to. It will take some time, so that miner has to append that, right? So in the virtual machine, there is no concept of mining, so it will be mined automatically. Okay, now you can see. After certain time, we have created a block. So a block is created here for our transaction. So what is our transaction here? Deploying the contract. Okay, let me click on this. Let me click on this and let me show you that. A true transaction mined and execution succeeded. So this is my transaction hash. So I said everything, every data will have a hash code, right? So this is my transaction hash. And this is my from. What is from here? 9867, so on. This is my public IP, public address, right? So this is my public key. To whom? To a contract btech_aggregate.constructor. So this is my to. And how much gas is spent? So 111351 gas is spent to mine this transaction, okay, onto the blockchain. So transaction cost, and this is the hash of the block. And input, you can see decoded input, and decoded output is empty as of now, okay, and the value is 0 weight, okay. So let me search, okay, let me click on, okay, now the transaction is deployed. You can able to see a block is added, okay. You can able to see that in the where is this? Oh, I closed this, okay. So let me search for Robston etherscan.io, okay. Let me search for my block which is added, okay. So what is a block ID? So let me check what is my block ID. So let me check what is block ID. 8714975 is my block ID. 8714975. So let me jump into the test network there. So 8714975, right? So here it is. So this is a block. Let me click on that. Let me click on that. So when I click on that, you can able to see 50 transactions happened. So let me click on that to view the transactions. So here let me see what is my from address. What is my from address? 986, right? 0x986, you can see it here. 0x986 and so on. This is my public address. So on the private test network, so a transaction is being added to the block. Since it is test network, so you can able to see one block is holding multiple number of transactions here, okay. So you can able to see 986. So this is my contract. So what is the request here? Contract creation, okay. What is this? Contract creation, okay. A contract has been created. So from whom? From this public address. Who is that public address? That is my valid public address, right? So a contraction is created. So this is a transaction fee, okay. You can able to see, okay. So let's click on contract. So when I click on contract, you can able to see some encrypted data. So there is some data, okay. There is some data. Let's switch it to composite view, which is bytecodes view here. You can able to see some data, but you cannot understand that because that is encrypted, okay. Clear. So what we did here, we made a transaction. When we made a transaction, then immediately a block is being added to the Robston test network here, okay. So let me jump back to the Remix IDE, okay. So now the block is added and the smart contract is deployed in the Robston test network. So let me click on deployed contracts here. So we have deployed contracts here. Let me click on it. So again, in the similar way, we have this, right? So let me click on get percentage. When I click on get percentage, you can able to see the value is 0, okay. The value is 0. So let me add a percentage. Let me add some percentage. 1,80. 1,80. Let me click on add percentage. When I click on add percentage, this information will be again transacted into the private test network, okay. So let's see. Let me click on add percentage. When I click on add percentage, again you will get it will be redirected to the crypto wallet because some money has to be deducted for this, right? So here again some amount has been charged, and let me click on confirm. Let me click on confirm. So when I click on confirm, immediately what happens? So that amount of fee will be deducted from my account, but initially it will take some time to mine, okay. So the miner will be mining this transaction. It will take some time until you get this tick mark, okay. Until you get this tick mark, we have to wait. So it will be done in 5 minutes, okay, or 2 minutes based on the miner capability there. So because for the miner you will have all the blocks in the queue, right? So it will take some time in order to mine it. So once it mines, a block will be added. So we have to wait until that block is added. If that block is added, you can get the data from this get percentage button, okay. Until unless it will not display. So it is taking some time. Let's wait for a while. So if it is done, you will get a notification also here saying that a block is added. So like this, all the transactions will be appended. It will be connected with your wallet. some amount will be deducted from your account, and that information which is written, so which is written in the smart contract, that information will be appended as a transaction. So the transaction will be appended as a block. Yes. Now we have confirmed, we got the notification confirm transaction. You can able to see a green color tick mark, which means that a block is added. Okay. So for this transaction a block is added, right? Which indirectly means that this percentage has been stored. Okay. Let me click on get percentage now. So when I click on get percentage, I can able to see the value is coming up here, which is nothing but 80, because that is added in the blockchain. So once it is added in the blockchain, you cannot you cannot tamper it, you cannot change it, right? So always when you give one more percentage here, what will happen? A new block will be appended to the blockchain. Okay, a new block will be appended to the blockchain, because in the old block we cannot update the percentage value. Okay, again a new block will be appended here. Okay, so let me see this. Okay, let me what is the block number? 8714992. So let me jump into the network. Let me see. Okay, so let me go back. Okay, let me reload the page. So 992, right? So 992 is this. Okay, 992 is this. So he is a miner who mined us. So there are 140 transactions here. There are 140 transactions in this block, out of which one transaction is ours. So let me click on that. So one transaction based on the from ID we can able to identify, right? So where is our transaction? Where is our from ID address here? So we have to search, okay, because there are 140 transactions here. Okay, 0x986. This is our. Okay, let me click on this. Okay. You can able to see. So 2 minutes back. So this was the request. So what is the request? Right. Let me click on that. Okay. So you can able to see here from and transaction age. So let me click on contract. Okay, let me jump back. So there's some transaction is happened. Okay, some transaction is happened. So what is the transaction here? The percentage is updated. Okay, the percentage is updated. So if you wrongly enter your percentage, say, then again what you have to do? Again you have to enter one more block. So if your percentage is entered wrongly, then you have to enter one more block. So in the next block, again for every block, for every transaction, what will happen? Some fee will be deducted, right? So now it is test. So now it is test ether. But in the real time scenario, if you enter wrongly, then what will happen? You have to invest money for that, right? So you cannot alter the data. Once it is uploaded to the blockchain, you cannot alter the data at any cost. So again, a new block has to be created, say, then again like a new transaction. Then here you can write a smart contract in such a way that you have to read the recent value. Okay, for example, say let me enter a value like 2,80. Then when you click on add percentage, what will happen? Again it will be called as a transaction. So we have to accept the transaction through because it is connected to the crypto wallet here. Let me click on confirm. So when I click on confirm, so it will be pushed to the network. So the miner has to mine it. So after some time, the block will be added. So here we have added 2 blocks. So in the block called 8714992, we have a data called the first semester 80. So now in the second block, now a new block will be created. So in this block you will have the percentage, a different percentage, right? Now according to the smart contract, what happens here? So the percentage here, which is there in the previous block, and this block will be added and it will be divided by 2. So that is what the smart contract says, right? So here smart contract says that that percentages has to be manipulated, isn't it? So then thereby when you click on this get percentage, again you will get 80 because both semester marks are 80, so aggregate is 80, right? So like this smart contract will work. So all the blocks data will be, logically manipulated based on the smart contract, whatever you write. Okay, based on the contract, generally it happens, right, everywhere. So this is how you need to create a smart contract, and this is how you need to make some transactions on the blockchain network. So this is the process of creating smart contract. And if you want to check your blocks, okay, if you want to check your blocks, you can enter your address here. Okay, so let me copy my address. So let me copy my address. Okay, so let me copy my address. And also you can, if you want to see your private key, you can click on this button. Okay, when you click on this button, a private key can be downloaded from of your record. So as of now, this is public key. Okay, this is like a digital signature. So you'll have public digital signature, you'll have private digital signature. So let me paste here. So let me paste my address. Okay, so it is showing the address. So this is the address which is available in the Robson test network. So when I search on that address, you can able to see different types of transactions. So I have made some transaction before this webinar also, which is 46 minutes ago, 47 minutes ago, and 48 minutes ago. And these are the 3 transactions which I made in the webinar, which is 1 minute ago, 6 minutes ago, and 11 minutes ago. Okay, so you can able to see that. So these are the different types of transactions happen. These are the different blocks added according to the contract, okay, that is made on the blockchain network. Okay, so that's all. This is what I wanted to show in this webinar. I just wanted to share this kind of stuff so that you can also practice more. So you will be understanding all this. So these are the steps. So I'll share this presentation to your email IDs. So we have your registered email IDs, right? So you can get this PPT also. So you'll get this PPT, this video again, and you will get the e-certificate also to your email ID. So if you want to learn more blockchain, because time is limited here, right? So because blockchain is like a ocean. So everywhere you see there will be a concept. So we have to understand that. So we'll be doing continuous video tutorials, and also we wanted to plan some events, workshops, and also free webinars so that people can understand and share knowledge on blockchain. Okay, if you learn something out from this webinar, please subscribe to us and hit like to this video, and also share this knowledge to your your friends, okay, so that they will also learn something on blockchain. So our simple principle is that eat, code blockchain, sleep. So this is only one principle which I had right away. If you want to learn blockchain, so become a member of madBlocks group by just sending hello, I am the blockchainer to the number which is scrolling down to this YouTube live, so that I will add you as a part of community. So by then you will be getting all the updates, okay, which I do on blockchain. So that's all. Thank you for joining me in this long webinar. So it's already 20 minutes delay, right? So I just wanted to explain each and everything in particular so that you can also go through that. So I'll share all these links, okay. I'll share all these links, code, program which is written. I will also share that so that you can also do that, or you can write your own smart contracts. It's based on your application context. So thank you for joining me. Be a part of the community. Let's grow together. Thank you all. Good night. We'll meet you in the next webinar in the next Saturday. Thank you all. Bye. If you have any queries, you just drop me a mail. So I have given my mail ID, right? Right. Thank you. See you soon.